see that immutable record of a transaction happening from point A to point B to point C, and also just unique sort of incentivization structures that we can build in within within the NFT marketplace. Also DAOs, you guys are all members of Blue DAO, I'm assuming, but all of those kinds of elements, components, tools, I think make it possible to kind of bring about these missions. You covered that for us.
Yeah. So for Guatemala, I would say it's interesting. What we're trying to build with Guatemala, I think we can and will build it without Web3. We're trying to build something much larger. But Web3 is a great foundation and place to start, in part because there is community, as you all have shared. And there are people who actively are putting their energy towards building things. And so using NFTs really gives us a pathway into people who are committed to taking action in collecting stamps, in participating in their real life community, online as well as offline. So what we're building, we want to have everyone collecting stamps. We want your grandparents to be collecting stamps. Right now, that's probably hard for them if they're not comfortable with Web3, but we're aiming to get there, where we're going to have all types of businesses, every human that we can get on board in this movement, collecting stamps to fund their communities, whether it's around an interest, a sport, a cause, or something bigger than that, whatever is close and near and dear to your heart. So NFTs are really the starting place and a way to build out the idea for people to have a tangible experience with.
I think just echoing what everybody is saying, I think firstly the fundraising thing is great, raising funds for NFTs, because people come to NFTs for all different reasons. They might come because they like the artwork, they might come because they want to support a female-centric team, or they might come because they like the utility piece. So there are many different reasons they might buy into a project. Secondly, the incentivizing people as well is a great tool. So for example, through Therapeutics, we'll be doing some self-guided courses. Once you complete the course, you might get a collab, or you might get an airdrop, and it incentivizes people to buy into the NFT because they want to get the use out of it and buy, what do you call it, like play to earn or learn to earn technology. And of course, everything being on the blockchain, proof of ownership, proof of every single place that it's been is just great for the community to see that everything is who owns it and just have absolute certainty where the funds are going. Specifically, if you're a project like our one or like some of the others here that is donating to charities, you want to be able to prove that through the donations that you're making from the blockchain.
Thanks. It sounds like one of the biggest themes here is community and the power of just like the vibe in Web3. There's a hugely collaborative energy, and I think, yes, communities can be quite strong. Margaret, you spoke to this sort of underlying, I guess I would call it a barrier, but not an insurpassable barrier. So this reality that many of the communities we're wanting to include are not native to Web3, and yet there's this increased potential for transparency and fairness by incorporating Web3. And I wonder, do any of you have thoughts about what holistic onboarding can look like? How do we reach communities without like tokenizing them and being like, oh, hey, you random indigenous community I found on the internet, would you like to be a part of my thing? And there's just like, how do we like ethically and smoothly go about onboarding older generations, folks who are maybe newer to any technologies and have leapfrogged from not having computers to now having smartphones. And there's no right answer here. Just let's spitball. How can we onboard?
Yeah, I'll share some thoughts. I have some strong opinions about this. So I'll just say there are some big elephants in the Web3 crypto room. This is one of them.
Yeah.
And so I really think that trust is the name of the game. And you can build mechanisms that mimic trust and can serve as a heuristic for it. But at the end of the day, there has to be something behind that in addition to just the blockchain record. And that thing is coordination, it's relationships, it's interactions with people. And I think that in terms of onboarding communities that are at this time less present in Web3, the biggest thing is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. In the sense that it may feel like it goes slow at first, but that's something that is more likely to have longevity and have quality. And I would say I found another elephant in the Web3 room is around the energy and excitement in the space. It's really easy to get like swept up and want to join all these DAOs and do as many things as possible. And we're human, we only have so much energy, we always have so much attention and time and what we can give. And so really being intentional, I mean, trying things, going out, meeting different communities and people, but being thoughtful and intentional about what you care about and what you want to invest in, and the people and the community that you want to grow with. Because at the end of the day, this really is a movement of communities and people coming together. So like, it's not that we're all on different teams, we're all on the same team, but at the same time, within that, who do you want to be in your squad? Like, who do you want to see when you log in? Who do you want to talk to and share other parts of your life with, potentially? So not in terms of being exclusive, being inclusive, but also building quality relationships and putting the effort that takes, putting it in.
Yeah, just kind of to echo that, I think your point about just like kind of being slow and patient and being really intentional with how you go about, incorporating or starting a project and making sure that the, groups and communities you want to onboard and help, one, are a part of that, all those initial conversations, the decision-making processes, and that you don't already have like a set vision of how something's going to be prior to them being involved. I mean, we've been moving, I think, currently like very slow, but with the intention that we don't want a final product without the incorporation of the voices and the people that we're trying to, help bring into this space so that they can, utilize it past and beyond us for future projects and future land buyback efforts. So whether that takes maybe 20 conversations and different like outlines, tailored to people that I've tested, how do you explain blockchain to your mom? I'm like, okay, like I'll do that. Like, it's a great practice. And making a presentation in 6 different presentations for 6 different types of people, and just like having that patience and kind of maybe, it's easy to think that everyone will be as excited about you as the potential of a project or like that this technology has, but clearly like we're biased and we're gonna think it's exciting, and so like making someone, see how different facets could improve X, Y, or Z in their lives, or listening to them about what their actual needs are. I think that's like the biggest thing in terms of like creating a, sustainable like impact project is speaking to the stakeholders that are going to be using it first and not building something that doesn't have an end user in the first place. So I think that's something we've been trying to incorporate.
Just one other thing I'd add too is respecting that some people's time is different than your time. So like we are all in this space, we know what's going on to an extent, we're focused on solving this problem or that problem on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people that we're working with, they have 5 kids, they have jobs, they have different, needs, and for lack of a better term, just desires, things that they are spending their time on a day-to-day basis, and you're asking them to kind of take time out of their day to talk to us, or to talk about our project and how we want to help them. So recognizing that it might take like 30 conversations or rescheduling calls when something comes up, something happens with your family, and obviously your time commitment is not going to be to Claire and me in that day or week or however. So just kind of understanding that people are all coming at this from different playing fields is really important. I think. Sorry, you already have my comment.
Yeah, I think just adding that being patient as well, and letting the people know that there are no bad questions, because we get so used to being in this space that everything is like a second language, and then you enter with no idea of what's happening, and Twitter NFT is just GM, you've got no clue what's happening, and you need a dictionary to figure it out. So, just reminding people that there's no bad questions, and that you will be there to answer their questions again and again and again, because it is very overwhelming. I think I barely slept for a month when I entered the NFT space, because there was so much to take in. So just helping them to take it slowly and holding their hand through the process if they need that.
I like that kind of everyone touched on this this quality of slowness and patience. And to be honest, that's why I'm so excited to see now we're in 2022 and we're sitting in an event that's dedicated to feminine energy, women, non-binary